Before, you also gave an example of how you keep on paying subscription to this co-working space just to keep the community going. And I feel like that is solidarity come into like a tangible member experience. How do you think like other spaces could translate their values into other tangible experiences? Like what tip would you give?
There are a lot of people around who have a big community, but not everyone in that community needs a desk or a chair. And it's like, a great example of this. So this place here, I'm going to put it in the chat.
Okay.
She should so be a Cobot customer.
Oh, the tribe working.
So Stacey, who runs this, where she is in the UK is not. It's quite a rural area. I'm trying to think how to say this quickly. It's quite a rural area. It's a small town. Most of everyone in her space is female, and they don't all need to come in Monday to Friday. What she's doing is launch this. I think she's launched actually this membership, which is something like £150 a month for everything.
Yeah.
Full use of the space for workshop. So if you and I were there, we could be members, or you could be a member, and then I could pay you £150. You could pay her £150 a month, and if you needed a room to run a workshop or a yoga class, you could book the space. And when the space is gone, it's gone. And it's all subject to fair use, but you're paying a membership to be part of a community and be part and get access to the space.
Yeah.
But if you want a desk, like full time, you come and use the desk as well. But if you want a desk full time, that's like £200 a month.
Okay, yeah.
And you get all the things there. So it's how to package up what is going on there.
There was a question that was related to the work that you do with the co-working assembly, the hackathon, or like, do you do a lot of these events?
We, like Hector, me, and a few other people that aren't around anymore, and we were just very enthusiastic about co-working. And so we made this email list and we started doing an event every month in a different co-working space. And it was only like 10 people that would show up, and we'd all bring, at that point, people would like bake bread at home or grab some avocados in the way in, and we'd all sit around a table and chat. And then it just got bigger and bigger and bigger. And we kept that going until COVID. Yeah. And the week before London went into lockdown, we did an event at a university in London, and that was our last in-person event. And then after lockdown, we didn't really know when to start again. And I was in the process of moving to Spain. Now we're down to like we send a newsletter every week. We have this online monthly online event that's just for co-working space operators and community managers, and then we'd like to do this bigger event. One of the things about the events is it was trying to work out what really works, what people actually want to attend and go to, and what's useful. And the people I really enjoy spending time with are people with less than 150 people in their co-working space, and they own it, they manage it, they really, really, really give it about their local area. And they're the people. And it's taken like 2 years to leave all the big shiny people behind and find out these. And a lot of that is people who, we'd say we're doing a co-working event, and people didn't come because they thought we were like GC or co-working Europe. They didn't understand we were actually interested in people who were like one or two people running a co-working space.
Oh yeah, I wanted to ask you, like, has there ever been an incident when somebody was like, oh, I heard this from your Co-working Values podcast, or I saw this in your resource and it really was helpful in my day-to-day and like co-working?
Loads and loads and loads. And we get about 100 listens for each episode. And I've either had people come to me and said, I listened to your episode with this and this, and that was really helpful. But then what's even better, like commercially, is people have said, this happens a lot. I heard your episode where you were talking about email, and can we do that in our thing? And obviously I'd love it if people listen to the podcast and then go, how do I hire Bernie Mitchell? But we don't set out to, it's not a customer acquisition channel. And the ones that really get people are where there's like Kopi talking about wealth inequality. There's one where there's someone called Ali, and she runs a project where which came out of COVID, where she cooks like African food and jollofi rice and all this kind of stuff. And then she goes to, like in this case, in Urban MBA, has got a co-working space, and they all sit around the table. She invites people in who live on their own, they're lonely, they're old, and they come into the co-working space, and they all sit around and they have this home cooked food. And they're hilarious. But people hear these very neighborhoody, local community, things about inclusion, things about menopause, all the things that aren't like really cool to talk about.
Yeah.
People go, that's the one that like, oh, I can't believe you did a podcast about menopause, Bernie. Wow, and they did better than 10 customer acquisition strategies for your co-working space. But that's the shit we want to make. We stopped getting sponsors because we wanted to make podcasts that we would want to listen to in the co-working community building.
What do you think people actually miss that you've noticed a lot while trying to be value driven?
A mistake is it's the word they choose. Like you can't practically apply it, like or misunderstandings in it. So they go, we value excellence, or they say we value integrity. There's a load of things that that's just base level. It's like we value breathing, like we value excellence, we value putting our values are customer service, and but it sounds like the sort of thing you should say when you're a business, but it's what does that mean,
Yeah.
Whereas things like trust, integrity, I would hope that was like standard issue.
Yes.
As a human being, and I understand why people do it, because you end up, whenever you need to make a website or make anything, you go and see what everyone else is doing. And this is one of the problems with AI, is because everyone sees everyone types in what are 10 values a company should have, and it's even quicker to get those 10 values than it was like looking at all your, at least when you had to go and Google it, you've got to see what all your competitors are really doing and then bring it back to your thing. Whereas now you're like, oh, that's what you should do as a business and stick it in there. So everything's even more homogenized. Sorry, keep on trying to say this and I've only just got it out, is really asking the people who work for you what they value. So then there's like this cute phrase, which is like no involvement, no commitment. So if everyone sits around and decides it together, and don't take like a week to decide 5 values and waste a load of time, but like what is really, really important? Like if the shit hits the fan, what do we want to be able to count on from each other? Valuable, like in terms of Cobot, what is really valuable to the Cobot team that they're all going to buy into? Because then when you're all believing or at least subscribe to the same thing, that's going to have a knock-on effect. Whereas people make values, this is going back to when we first started this morning, like people make the values they think their customers want to hear. I just don't think people go, oh, should I buy Cobot, Nexus, or Office R&D? I'll go and look at their values and see who's got the best ones. They have to, like, I think Office R&D do a great job, but their marketing is like pitch perfect HubSpot content marketing. Whereas, I'd send one person over here because it would be quicker for them to understand that. And I'd send someone like Tracy to your website, or Oren to your website, because they would connect way faster with what's on your website than Office R&D.
There's only one last thing, is if you could give any advice to new spaces to just be true to their values and market themselves aligning to their values.
I like wildly believe this is, and I've done this for people, and like these people are a good example of that. Is like if you're WeWork, or it's not even WeWork, if you're a bigger space, it's a little bit harder to do because you're such a big organization. But if you're like running one space and you're the owner or a manager or the community manager, and you're very involved, if you like write something every week and send it in an email, and then you're writing what you think. So when you sit down and this is even easier nowadays, but like if you type, this week we have a golf day going on, we have this going on, and you have to think about what you're doing. And then as you write it, you'll either believe it or you won't. Sometimes you just rush it out and you know it, but you will start to find out what you actually believe in, because you're writing yourself into existence. If you keep saying you believe in something and you don't, the fractures in what you're doing will appear. And when you run your own business or you run your own project, or you're like, you've got there's a lot of pressure. Great conversation. Cheers, my dear.
Bye bye.